All right, welcome to Flex Life Fi,
I'm so
episode
excited.
number 4. All right, so we're talking about
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Why?
Not Wi-Fi,
Not
but
Wi-Fi.
why
Why?
financial independence.
Why 5 for you, John?
So first, we should probably say what financial independence
Oh, that's
is.
a good place to start.
So financial independence, for me, is uh, more of a, I guess, a flexibility issue, or the ability to do other things than just go to a 9 to 5 every day. I guess for me, it's more of a 6 to 5, right? Because anesthesia is more go
6,
in
yeah.
at 6 in the morning
Yeah.
and then get out at somewhere between 3 and 7
Three,
at night.
three in infinity.
Yeah, infinity.
Yeah.
Um,
You get to go
because-
home when everything's done.
Well, and here it is literally infinity
Yeah.
because
We're
we
24/7.
don't go home for weeks.
Yeah.
So for me, the idea of financial independence is to be able to spend the weeks at home and work on business and work on other things and be able to be home with our daughters and husband and be able to work on the businesses and have that flexibility to take vacation when it's time to take vacation. If I want to work in anesthesia, then I get to work in anesthesia. Um, so that's kind of my idea of the financial independence. If it comes with that retire early, then it comes with the retire early and stay home and not have to work. But that's my idea.
You'll never not work. Be productive.
Yeah, probably not.
You'll,
Unless something happens and I have to not work.
I just see that you have so much to give back and that you're a very giving person, that you'll be involved in some kind of something where you're either involved in community activities. And so my thing with financial independence, if I may,
Yeah, please.
is I think I was about a year out of anesthesia school and I was about $800,000 in debt because that was
That's
right after like the housing crash. And so we had a property in Alabama that we lived in while I was in anesthesia school at Samford University. Shout out. And we moved up to Missouri where I took my first job, and we couldn't sell our house back in Alabama. I had $300,000 in student loan debt from Bill and I's undergraduate, and then $250 just grad school, so $50 undergrad and $250 because we didn't have any help and we didn't have money saved ahead of time or parents that could afford to put us through college, so we put ourselves through. And so about a year out of school, I was becoming overwhelmed with how much we owed and how much we needed to make all these. I think my student loan bills were more than one paycheck when I first got out of school. So I came up with a thing before I knew about financial independence called Retire 12. And it came up with this because it put my mind at ease. And basically we could save for our retirement and kind of be coast financially independent. We wouldn't need money to save for retirement anymore.
Right.
But our debt would be paid off and we could just make enough money to live on, and we'd have our money in savings because we needed time in the market, not timing in the market. So we started on that, and then I started watching podcasts and YouTube as it came out later on, and I found, financial independence. But both of our parents both sets of our parents are passed away now, and I saw what not saving for retirement did. They were taught in their generation, because Bill and I were the last of both of our parents' set of 4 kids, is work hard at a W-2 job, make a good living, and then the company will take care of you, or
Right.
your retirement and Social Security will take care of you. And my dad's company that he worked for 31 years filed bankruptcy. So my mom got $130 a month, and her insurance cost $170. So that wasn't very much to live on.
That doesn't exactly work out.
The math doesn't work out. And if you think you can live on Social Security, $1,200 a month or $1,500 or $1,900 a month doesn't go very far.
The math doesn't math when rent is more than that.
Right. Or
Right.
her house, she had her house paid for. She did not have a credit card. She did not have a car payment. But you got to have house insurance, pay your light bills, put groceries,
Yep.
pay for car insurance, gas, repairs, all those kind of things. And Bill and I were in the position where we were trying to get us through school,
Mm-hmm.
then start putting our kids through college, and then taking care of the parents. So it was a difficult place to be, and I said, I don't want this burden passed on to my children.
Right.
So they're both gone, and I don't regret one minute or $1 that we spent and did not put in our retirement because we took care of our parents. But
Right.
it taught me the importance of guaranteeing my financial independent future. What if something happened to me and I couldn't work, that sort of thing. And so I just wanted to have that mental peace of mind.
Right. The security.
Yeah.
So even if it's not financial independence now and it's financial independence later, it's still
Worth it to me.
Yeah.
Very worth it. So now we get to be more philanthropic and help people. And I'm not saying we're further along in our financial independent journey, but if it takes me a little longer and I get to help people along the way, that's what I want to do. And Bill and I go on mission trips out of the country. And that's the flexibility that I'm looking for, is that I can work my job, but then I can take time off, like John said. I can fly home if my son needs me to be at his class presentation for his doctorate degree.
Right.
I can go to Europe twice this year
Absolutely.
and take 2 extended vacations of just kind of having some downtime, because Bill and I have been really busy on real estate projects the last 5-6 years. And so we were going to take this time to recover from all that stress and something to look forward to and something for the end goal.
Absolutely. So flexibility, life, and
Security.
you have the businesses too.
Yeah.
So, kind of hits all those points. And financial independence is kind of different things to different people.
Exactly.
But still, it doesn't come without, a little bit of like sacrifice at the beginning, I think. We didn't go out and buy the most expensive house that we could possibly get at the beginning, for
Right,
sure.
right.
And I don't think either one of us have the most expensive possible things that we could get.
Well,
Like
actually,
the biggest house or that kind of thing.
I say for us personally, we sacrificed on vehicles, and it came to the point where one of my coworkers out here in South Dakota had to come pick Bill and I up because we were stranded, literally, in Nebraska, in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska,
I remember that.
trying to drive out here. And thankfully, I work with some great people. And you just have to. I like Ramit Sethi's approach of living a rich life, is you decide what's important to you. So if John wants to drive a new vehicle every 2 years, that's John's rich life. If I never want to get involved with car payments or that sort of thing, now, full disclaimer, I have 3 new vehicles now, and but I waited till I was 53 years old to start those purchases because I wanted time to put my retirement away, and that was more important to me than driving a nice brand new car.
Well, yeah. And I think it's Paula Pant says something to the effect of you can afford things, but you can't afford everything.
You can afford anything. You just can't
afford
afford
everything.
everything.
That's
So
it.
you're picking and choosing. So my rich life is not your rich life. It's not Bill's rich life or Francisco's rich life or your
Right.
husband's rich life. It's just you decide what's important to you and what you want to spend your money on. So if you want to give more money to missions or the church, you can do that. If you want to take more vacations, you can do that. If you want to retire early, you can do that. So it's just giving you the flexibility again
Right.
that we just keep driving that point home.
And so we're going to talk about kind of how we do that, right? as we continue, and we're going to talk about the real estate and how we're developing that, and
Right.
the businesses and how we're
And you don't
and how we look at those.
you don't
and,
have to do real estate. You can just do, and I don't want to say just. I'm saying you can. There's a lot of management with real estate. Bill and I have talked about getting away from. Bill, sorry about that. That was a business call.
Of course.
Bill and I talked about getting away from real estate because if we could just put our money in index funds, so the whole index of the stock market or the S&P 500, those are great investments that they say the stock market in general goes up and to the right. It goes up.
It goes up and it goes up and to the right, but I don't think you can work your way to wealth. I think you have to.
You have to invest.
You have
right?
to invest, and you have to do the right investments. So if you're going to put 1% away and think you can put 1% away for 40 years,
You're not going to.
you're not going to be financially independent in 5 years.
No.
Or you're
Or
not going
40.
to be.
Or 40.
Well, you're not going to retire early in 15 years
Right.
if that's your plan. I think you have to have done something extraordinarily well, or you have to have sacrificed in some way if you're planning to hit that financial independence and that flexibility that we are looking for.
But you don't have to do real estate. You don't have
I
to
think
do.
some
businesses.
other type of investment, some other type of something in addition to just working.
You can't just stick it into a savings account. So I started learning about money because my brother passed away suddenly. He was 16 years older than me, but he passed away suddenly in 2013. And he was beyond financial education help, let me put it that way. And so I said, I can't help him because it's like throwing my money away. And I got a family to take care of and parents to take care of. But I will help my sister-in-law. They didn't ever have any kids. So I started studying and learning about financial independence. And I have a famous quote by her. She put her money in the savings account. And we didn't know each other that well when he passed away because he kind of kept us at arm's distance from talking to each other because he was doing some shady things behind both of our back.
Awesome.
Our misuse of money. He was nothing illegal. Don't get me wrong. But she put her money in a savings account, and she had way over $30,000 in the savings account from a life insurance settlement policy, and she waited a whole year, and she said, "Suzanne, I'm ready to invest all year, 10 cents."
Oh, 10 cents.
10 cents investment. So she thought savings, you can't just put it away.
Right.
You got to put it away and invest it. So if you invest it in the appropriate vehicle, then, and I'm talking about investment vehicle, not car vehicle.
Of course.
But you put it in the right investment vehicle, then it's going to pay a return. So she has done absolutely great and has been investing her money and saving her money, and she's never made more than $20 an hour, and she's doing great. Bill and I she just turned 65, so we took her to her financial investor because I didn't want to be the only one responsible for giving her advice. So
Right.
I did half, her financial advisor did half, and she's sitting pretty, and she's not doing real estate, she's not doing a business. She'll be able to do well, and of course, Bill and I are here for backup if she has any questions.
Outstanding. And that's normal retirement. So I think she has put her money away and
Right.
done her standard investing. She's not retiring a millionaire.
No, but she
she's-
came from zero.
She came from very little.
from zero
Yeah.
in 2014.
Right.
So she started later. So that's another thing I want to hit home is just get started.
Yeah.
I don't care how old you are. I don't
Hey,
know.
just like a YouTube channel. Right.
Just get started. Yeah. I don't care how old you are, how much debt you're in, because I was in a huge amount of debt with no investments, so to speak, because I
Right.
didn't count my house as an investment. It was a place to live.
Right.
But get started and learn as you go and just start taking baby steps. And then as you get through the baby stage, you go to, toddler food. And then you go to, eventually you develop an adult appetite for learning, and you want to be informed, and you want to make the right choices for your family and the people that surround you. And most of all, you want to secure your financial future so that you can be a person that can help other people.
Well, and we keep learning because, one of the
Things change.
One of the things that you said, and I know somebody else said, I know it's a quote from somewhere, but it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I think we can end on that.
Sounds great to me.
All right. Until next time, make sure you like and subscribe and
We'll see you
keep
next
following
time.
us. We'll see you next time.